Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I'm going to render beef suet, which is beef fat from around the organs of a beef cow, and I'm going to turn it into skincare products. My first step was to cut the beef fat into strips, about 1 inch square, and then I attached my handy dandy KitchenAid grinder to it. And what this will do is this will enable me to grind the suet fat down just like ground beef, but nothing but good tallow. You could also dice the meaty tallow up to create little cubes, but I find this gets a more even exposure of heat to the fat and it creates more clean tallow. Here I go, starting the machine. Turn it up a bit. Okay, all of the fat is ground up, and one tip I have for you is if you're using an electric grinder like this, down there is a little grinding wheel, and sometimes a little bit of fat gets left behind, or meat, or whatever you're grinding. So I always recommend taking a handful of the already ground, feeding it back into the machine, and starting your machine again. This lets all of the product actually get properly ground. For the next step, I have a pot that I filled with some salted water, about 2 tablespoons of, I use kosher salt because that's what I use in my home, and you put it on fairly low heat. Then you just, handful at a time, take your nice, perfectly ground fat, drop it directly in the water. And then, the best part, just leave this on fairly low heat for the next several hours. See, it's already starting to break down. And the water will let the impurities sink to the bottom, such as those little bits of meat, like that little those red spots you see, and the fat will rise to the top. And then I'll show you how to strain it. Looking in on the tallow after a couple of hours, as you can see, it's largely melted. Look at all that good yellow fat in there. It's going to make some great moisturizer. We're going to let this go for another couple of hours, and all of the little bits that are not beef fat, the little bits of cooked meat, there might be some other stuff in there, grit, will sink to the bottom, and then we'll use a strainer and strain all of the little bits out, and we will let it cool, and then we'll do the process one more time. Okay, I just finished straining out the beautiful golden fat from the little bits, and as you can see, all these little chunks are what's left over, little bits of ligament, tissue, and meat. Then, if we zoom all the way out here, this is what it should look like. Absolutely beautiful. So we're going to let this cool, and then we're going to rinse it, and then we'll melt it down and repeat the same process a second time. Now the fat has solidified and I've taken it out of the pan, and I'm going to let it come to room temperature and then wait till I show you what I'm going to do next. To whip things up, here I have my KitchenAid mixer. It's worth the investment to get the whisk with the blades like this. keeps your sides clean, makes it really easy. I have my softened tallow. It's been sitting at room temperature for several hours. I use avocado oil. You can use olive oil, coconut oil, any oil that's more of a neutral scent. And then I'm choosing to use frankincense, lavender, and German chamomile because I'm looking for a skin-soothing butter. First up, I'm going to put all of the tallow into the bowl. Okay, she's full. Now I'm going to drop down. It's still going to be a little bit hard. And you make sure you lock your machine. I'm going to put this on low and let it go for several minutes before I add anything else. See how those nice blades on that whisk are keeping the sides of the bowl clean and keeping everything mixing well. It's coming right along. Look how smooth and creamy it's become. For my next addition, I'm going to add my avocado oil. I used about 1 cup to about 2 cups of tallow. Slowly add this in. We'll let that blend for the next few minutes, and then I will come back and add my essential oils. That looks great. See the consistency? It's a little gritty, but that'll come out as we blend some more. So now I'm going to add some essential oils. Like I said before, I'm going to use German chamomile, lavender, and frankincense. Here goes. Now I just have to let it whip for a while. I'm going to turn up the speed. I've had it on low here. I'm going to go up to maybe 4. Look at it getting all whipped and foamy already. Oh, guess I better put the thing on to keep it flattering. There we go. That'll keep a little bit more of the mess out. But look at how foamy it's getting. Can't wait to show you the finished product. Alright, I'm about to stop the machine. Take off the shield here and look at this. It's luscious. It smells amazing. Looks all white and fluffy to me. Next up, jarring it up. I'm choosing to use these cute little 1/4 pint jars with the quilted pattern on them. They're used for jam occasionally. As far as brand is concerned, for things like this, you don't need to worry about the brand because you're not worried about things spoiling. So I've just bought the cheapest ones I can buy. I'm going to pipe the tallow balm into the little jars. And a quick trick, if you don't have piping bags, that's just fine. Just use a gallon Ziploc bag. And you can scoop it right in there. You cut the corner off. And you have an instant piping bag that barely costed you a cent. There it is, all bagged up, and now all I need to do is cut the tip off of that bag and get to piping. Here we go. I'll show you when I'm done. Wow, that turned out great. These little jars will be the ones that I'm going to sell. So now I'm going to get some bigger jars for my own personal use. I had to scrounge around, so I've got some different size jars that I'm going to use for my own personal stuff. I'm going to do my best to show you how I fill the jars, but this is usually a two-handed job, so bear with me. Here we go. I still have a little bit left, so I'm going to go get a couple more of the smaller jars just to fill them up so I don't have any product left over. Alright, there we have it. I got all of those jars of tallow body butter for about $10 plus, you know, just a day or so's worth of labor. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Click follow if you want to see more content from me.